The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Brantley. Minister of Health, the Honorable Akilah Byron-Nisbett. U.S. Ambassador, Her Excellency Linda Taglialatela. Resident Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, His Excellency Tom Lee. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Delores Stapleton Harris. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Kay Bass. Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws. Medical Chief of Staff at the Joseph M. France General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson. Director of Institutional Nursing Services, Mrs. Kerry Williams Tuckett. Assistant Director of Institutional Nursing Services, Mrs. Sandra Lestrade Keynes. Operations Manager of Institutional Nursing Services, Ms. Gail Cranston. Staff of API Harrow Portscap. Staff of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning. We are very grateful to be here this morning for 3 handover presentations from USAID, United States Agency for International Development, the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and from the St. Kitts and Nevis High Commission in Canada. USAID, the donation builds on the $2.2 million that the U.S. Department of State and USAID Eastern and Southern Caribbean have committed to the Eastern and Southern Caribbean in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which is helping to strengthen clinical care, build lab capacity, improve disease surveillance, and more. I will now invite the U.S. Ambassador, Her Excellency Linda Taglialatela, to address us.
I am pleased to announce the donation of 10 ventilators from the United States to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. While I am not able to celebrate with you all in person, I want to thank the hundreds of healthcare professionals, civic leaders, manufacturing workers, and all others in St. Kitts who have worked tirelessly to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. These have been challenging times for our countries, and I am proud that our partnership stands as strong as ever. There are hundreds of components needed to produce a ventilator. A key component needed in the production of ventilators is produced by API Harrow, a St. Kittian company. The employees of these companies, some of whom are here today, continue working throughout the state of emergency, producing parts for thousands of U.S. manufactured ventilators that are being distributed around the world as we speak to help those impacted by COVID-19. We thank Prime Minister Harris and his team for their leadership in making it possible. We also recognize the government's strong leadership in keeping the people of St. Kitts and Nevis safe during the pandemic. St. Kitts and Nevis has been one of the most successful countries in the hemisphere at containing the spread of the disease. We know this has come at a great cost to the country's economy and its people, and acknowledge the pain this has caused. And we are also mindful of the fact that the pandemic continues to threaten the region even as we are in the midst of the hurricane season. In response to the Eastern Caribbean's request for support from international organizations, Secretaries Pompeo and Mnuchin stated on July 1st that we are aware that the COVID-19 crisis has already exacted and will continue to exact a heavy toll on the region, and that economic recovery will not happen overnight. As a result, the United States has increased our financial support to multilateral organizations like the IMF to enable them to provide much-needed assistance in the years to come. We will continue to examine our own bilateral tools, such as U.S. Export-Import Bank and assist through USAID, for ways to be creative and flexible in addressing the humanitarian and economic needs of the region during this time of crisis. They went on to say that all these initiatives reinforce our shared and enduring commitment under the U.S. Caribbean 2020 strategy and strengthen regional disaster response capabilities under the U.S. Caribbean Resilience Partnership. These two initiatives build upon decades of strategic U.S. investment in the Caribbean. We recognize the unique economic and humanitarian challenges that CARICOM states are facing as a result of COVID-19 pandemic and pledge our support to our Caribbean friends and partners in these difficult times. This builds upon decades of U.S. support to our valued partners in the Eastern and Southern Caribbean, including more than $840 million over the past 20 years, $236 million of which was for health. For more than a half a century, the United States has been the world's largest contributor to global health security and humanitarian assistance. I know that Taiwan is donating ventilators to St. Kitts and Nevis today. The United States and Taiwan are proud of our joint efforts with St. Kitts and Nevis to equip frontline workers in St. Kitts and Nevis and across the globe with life-saving ventilators. We are in this together, and together we will rise to the challenges presented by this pandemic. Thank you.
I now invite the Honorable Mark Brantley, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Premier of Nevis, to give us remarks.
I am delighted to be here on this occasion to receive on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis these 10 ventilators. I am honored to accept this very generous donation from the government and people of the United States of America. Both of our countries have enjoyed cordial diplomatic relations since independence. And when I say independence, you might ask which independence, because truth be told, I often remind my friend Ambassador Taglialatela that our own Alexander Hamilton contributed to her independence in the United States. But certainly since our independence in 1983, we have shared a very close relationship with the United States, and one that we have treasured since its inception, a relationship that has really blossomed over the years. This handover ceremony represents the fruits of diplomacy. Sometimes our people ask, what does diplomacy bring? I can say today that it has brought us 10 ventilators. It represents the fruits of diplomacy. As I recall during the Caribbean Ministerial Roundtable meeting held earlier this year with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he conveyed President Trump's wish to deepen the United States relationship with the Caribbean, especially to advance cooperation. We didn't know then that the world would be in this condition today, but today's proceedings are indicative that our mutual commitment to strengthen and broaden cooperation remains. We continue to collaborate on a number of integral developmental initiatives in disaster management, in energy, youth development, security, and now in health. This handing over ceremony is not simply emblematic of one friend assisting another due to the global pandemic. It is in fact representative of an understanding between friends of long standing. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is proud that the management and staff of API Harrow played a major role in the global fight against COVID-19 in providing critical components for ventilators for use worldwide. I would want to commend the management and staff of API Harrow who are here with us, and all of their workers who came out in the middle of this crisis to ensure that those critical components for ventilators were produced, and those ventilators, we are now the beneficiaries of some of them today. On this, ladies and gentlemen, little St. Kitts and Nevis partnered in a significant way with the United States of America. I think we all should be proud not only of API Harrow, but of our workers who made this possible. This pandemic has signaled to the world that we are nothing if not interdependent on each other, and the interwoven nature of the international community. Indeed, what we do today in our localized geographic space can affect individuals and communities in far-flung places. Madam Ambassador, since I have your attention and the attention of your delegation, let me continue to hope that the United States will partner with us, just as you're doing now, to find solutions to other issues such as climate change, access to concessionary financing, correspondent banking, de-risking and blacklisting, phenomena all which, similar to this COVID-19 pandemic, pose clear and present dangers to Caribbean economies. In closing, I express our sincere gratitude to the government of the great United States of America for this invaluable contribution in our national effort to safeguard and protect the health of our most priceless asset, our people.
I now invite Minister of Health, the Honorable Akilah Byron-Nisbett, to give us remarks.
It is indeed our pleasure to be here this morning to accept these ventilators from USAID. We are truly grateful for the assistance that is being rendered by the United States of America. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs would have indicated, our long-standing relationship with the United States of America have been fruitful, and for this we are truly grateful. Allow me also to thank Harrow Server for their hard work that they continue to do in producing these equipment, as well as others, and the name that they have been able to establish for themselves and for St. Kitts as a whole. I don't have much more that I can add than what our Minister of Foreign Affairs would have added, but I am truly thankful, as this would help our health services to continue to move forward. And as we fight COVID-19, more ventilators means that we have more beds in case of an emergency, but we are praying that we continue on our path where we are able to keep the curve flattened and we don't have too many persons who would have been hospitalized due to COVID-19. And so once again, I would like to thank the Ambassador and the United States of America for their kind contribution, and we will ensure that they are put to good use, even if it is not for COVID-19. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the U.S. Ambassador and all who participated in this morning's handing over of 10 ventilators by USAID. Thank you very much. Of course, these 10 ventilators will go a very long way in our COVID-19 response. Thank you very much.